Good day everyone and welcome to Exile News, the weekly show that brings you all the important news and information on Path of Exile. And earlier this week, Talkative 3 interviewed Jonathan Rogers. You can find the VOD around. Also, you can see all the other PoE2 related interviews if you missed any. Honestly, right now is the perfect time to put one of those in the background and just play the new league. So we also got some information about the item filters, of course. Well, if you're using a normal item filter made by someone else like NeverSyncs, you don't really have to care about any of these. If you're making your own, probably check those out if you haven't done so yet. Also, there's another interview, this time is Zizaran with Mark Roberts, and this is more about PoE1 than PoE2, and it is definitely really interesting. I've had it below my gameplay yesterday as I was trying the new league. And yeah, definitely recommended. Mark knows his stuff and he's definitely really invested in the game, and you can tell that by his answers. So definitely recommended one again. And also, of course, if you want to play on your private league for the new league, you can definitely do so. The leagues have been available from before the actual launch, which feels like a lot of time ago, but it was just 2 days ago. So we also got all of the new gems and all of the changes, and well, not many of these transfigured ones are interesting. To be fair, I'm liking the kinetic blast of clustering, although I don't know if that can fix wanding, most likely not. And the other one that was interesting is the elemental hit of the spectrum, dealing actually a lot of flat elemental damage of all types. So that's an interesting one. Unfortunately, that's only for bows, so that does not fix melee in any way. And you can show all the differences here between the older ones and new ones for the normal gems that have been slightly changed, and you will be able to see the cleave has been nerfed again. I mean, we also got all of the new scarabs from the change, and there's actually a lot of them. The scarab tab is definitely really useful right now. However, another thing that's very useful to know is that there is a limit to these scarabs. So as you can see below the stack size, this says the limit is 2, which means that you can use 2 of these scarabs with your maps at the same time. For example, this one has a limit of 1, so you can only use 1 of those at the same time. And yeah, that's about it. Honestly, if you're not too much into scarabs, you may just want to sell yours, as that's what a lot of players I feel like would do, especially if you can get some rare ones. And we also got the challenge rewards. It's another full set of armor, and I'm pretty happy about that. At least these microtransactions match instead of what we had in the past that didn't match at all. And you can see it's this one on the left for the first tier from challenges of 4, 8, 12 and 16, you'll get the 4 pieces. Another good thing is that at 16 it's not the helmet, which is the main thing, but it's the boots. So you can actually basically complete the set at 12 challenges, which is really good. Of course, if you go on, you can get this one on the right side, which honestly looks cooler. I don't know, this is a very weird set, but personally I like it a lot, and this might be the only reason this league is worth playing. We'll see how that goes. Challenges are definitely really time consuming, so not for everyone. Still, there's also been a quick recap by GG. It's like a minute long video about the Path of Exile 2 meetup, and you can also check out some of the content creators that have been flown to actually try PoE2 by GG. And well, if you haven't seen their own gameplay already, you can definitely do so. There's more than these. These are just some that GG put here. The PoE2 gameplay have been rolling, and those have been quite interesting. They definitely highlight some parts of the game. You can see some flows, you can see some good parts, and you can kind of tell where PoE2 is going, which is honestly really interesting. Hopefully, we're going to get the beta soon enough, but other than that, you can definitely check those out. This is worth it. And, well, I mean, most people probably already patched their own client, but if you haven't done so, the patch is around 5.5, 5.8 gigabytes on Steam and the standalone client. It's 12 gigabytes if you are on consoles, and if you're going for the full torrent download, It's about 39 gigabytes, however, that might not even be up anymore, as there's been a couple of days since launch. So also, as usual, we are getting the recently asked question thread, which is most likely going to be updated every week for a while, and you can tell there's a lot of questions and like usually FAQs that people might be wondering, and GG is just slamming them in here. So if you have some specific question, you might want to try and check it out here or on the usual sites. No, and there's also the usual live updates thread, which is going to go on for probably the first week. At last time I think it was for a week, and you can see there's a lot of bug fixes and little small tweaks here and there. And yeah, we are into day 2 and a couple of things have happened, but so far the launch is pretty smooth, unless you're trying to load into town and the microtransactions are just killing your PC. Yeah, that's what several players have been experiencing. I myself have been experiencing that, and that's a perfect joke on GGG, who just refuses to turn off MTXs and stuff. Joke is that I cannot see MTXs anyway because the screen is so blurred that I can barely move my mouse anyway. So yeah, that's a thing. So the league so far has been going pretty good for me, but honestly I'm just leveling for now. The mods don't seem to do too much unless you actually see something like always stun on hit, and this can happen on some very unfortunate monsters, and you can get stun lock permanently unless you have immunity, which is not going to happen in the campaign for many. So for the most part it feels like Onslaught League, where monsters just have random numerical buffs and you cannot do much about it. You can you can choose who gets what, but honestly after a certain while I just stopped caring and just checked if there's any brick mod like the stun one. Otherwise I just don't really care too much about this. And for what I've seen on the graveyard, I've tried it a little bit. Crafting is crap as always, and yeah, I'm sure at the highest levels people will be able to print such good items, but that is only going to be very, very far into the league. So unless someone understands a little bit better and explains it to others how this crafting works, I feel like 99.9% of the population will not be able to use the graveyard for anything remotely good, and that is honestly a big problem to this league. Being a crafting league is going to be appealing to a very small percentage of the player base, and I'm not sure what they could do better for this, because I mean crafting is cool and everything, but unless you can really profit from it, no one is going to use it. And the fact that you can not even get a random decent leveling item out of it really breaks it for me. Like, I don't know why GGG cannot just make it like have it better items. Maybe even like below level 68 you get lucky mods so that you can actually use the mechanic to level up and get into maps easier than usually. I don't think that will ruin everyone's day, and once you get into maps you can actually start to do things normally. But I don't know, I'll definitely wait to see how this goes. Crafting is way too complicated, and it's not just about being complicated, it's about the time and effort that you need to put into that and to actually understand it. And I would rather enjoy the game than wasting time trying to learn something, and after I learned it I would realize that I need like 1,000,000 hours of farming to actually get what I need to use that system. So it's kind of a problem there. Like, crafting is only good at higher levels and it's really bad at lower levels, and it's why she implemented like the crafting bench in the first place long time ago. And yeah, I feel like this league is kind of a step backwards in that direction. The potential is really high and it's definitely going to be incredible. Yeah, but for the rest of the player base is going to be shit, and yeah, I feel like we are going to see that reflected in many content creators. But yeah, I've been rambling away too much. That was all for this week, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment down below. Also, if you want to remain updated every week, be sure to subscribe to my channel. That was all. I've been your host Giorgio, and I'll see you guys the next time.